Hi there, Rupesh Chokshi with Akamai. I run the application security business. Super thrilled to have some fantastic guests with me today. We have Ryan Barnett, who is with Akamai, and he is a threat researcher and has done some phenomenal work in the field of application security and web application firewalls. And we also have Ryan's daughter, Izzy, with us. She is we would say emerging talent, as she is going to pursue a fantastic career in cybersecurity. So father-daughter duo. And with that, I want to get us going over here. So pleasure to have both of you over here. How does it feel to be at Black Hat 2024? So we'll start with you, Ryan.
Well, I am a Black Hat veteran. I've given many different presentations, spoke at Arsenal, did trainings. So done a lot of things here, but it's great to be back. I haven't actually been here in a while, so good to be back in Vegas.
Yep.
This is my first Black Hat, so I'm very excited. I am glad for this opportunity, and I hope to make the most of it. Visit and listen to some of the talks, and then have our booth presentation for Akamai.
That's great. That's great. A lot to take in, right? A lot to take in. So, yeah, fantastic. So, what we want to do is maybe start with, Ryan, with you. Like, when was this sort of moment where, Izzy, as a young person, decided to sort of, go into the field of cybersecurity, or started to feel like that's where she wants to do, like father, like daughter?
Right.
But I heard something about like a tinfoil or something like that.
Yeah, so I'll describe it. Feel free to jump in, but we have this saying, it all started with a tinfoil hat.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's something that anybody who has been to DEF CON knows. They have a tinfoil hat competition. They make all these crazy things. So it's a lot of fun. And I knew about it from being at DEF CON a lot of times. Well, when Izzy was 12 years old, we said, hey, I think she's at the right age to maybe check out DEF CON, see what it's like.
Mm.
And I had a colleague who was not using his badge that day, so they thankfully gave it to us to borrow, put it around her neck, took her in for the day. She made a Wonder Woman tinfoil hat and like a gauntlet and making the muscle poses. So that was a great way to like kick it off that, oh, wait, this is a lot of fun. What's going on here? But then took her to Roots Asylum, which is the kids area.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think, you did lock picking, built her own drone that she got to take home. Trying to think what else did you do that year? I don't remember.
CTF for the first time.
Capture the flag.
Okay,
That was another big one, just to play around. You get the challenges, you have to solve them. So that was also a good springboard after that first DEF CON, because it was a good way to test without paying for a full badge and thinking, well, what if she was there 5 minutes and said, this isn't for me?
Right.
So after that initial, she said that was a lot of fun, and every year since, I've been going to DEF CON.
Yeah, with the tinfoil hat area, I thought, this is so bizarre, this sort of superstition, but I thought, this is really fun. This group of people is very talented, and there's the whole intellectual side, but they also know how to have fun.
Right.
And I was really intrigued and wanted to know more.
Great. Wow. So maybe, why cybersecurity? Like, there could be in so many engineering fields, computer science, applied math. I mean, there's so much out there. Why cybersecurity? Is there like some inner thing about like, I want to protect the world?
I felt that it was a really unique way to protect people, and also I was intrigued by the hacker mindset, the creative ways that they find to break into a system, but I don't see myself as very aggressive or the attacking type, so I was more interested in the defensive side.
All right. That's my
Yes.
girl.
Dad's very proud.
We need more. We need more.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. It's a long way, since the first DEF CON. So maybe tell us a little bit about your, accomplishments through the journey, and then we'll go to Dad and get Dad's view. But we'll start with you.
Well, after DEF CON, I knew I was interested in cybersecurity in the IT field. So when I started high school, I decided, let me take an IT course, see if the educational side of things would interest me. And I loved it. I thought the topics were interesting, and I found fulfillment and enjoyment learning all the different aspects of IT. So after my first IT class, earning my IT fundamental certification, I decided this is really interesting to me. I want to pursue this. So then the next year I took more computer classes because I knew senior year I wanted to take cybersecurity, and that was like the main goal. Got to do all the prerequisites,
Right,
get a baseline of networking and computer hardware before I could go and do cybersecurity. And I earned the CompTIA Security Plus.
Wow.
So a lot of studying for different certifications. Google Cybersecurity, I took that certification. Once
Right.
I knew that there was these opportunities that my school provided through the Governor's STEM Academy, that they would provide a voucher to take these certifications and learn all of these different topics like AI and cloud computing as well. I wanted to try everything and see what interested me most, and that was cybersecurity.
Great. Wow. So what's Dad so proud about?
Well, really taking advantage of the opportunities, as she said, having the STEM Academy inside her high school.
Mm-hmm.
Other kids would have to travel to
Right.
her school to get this.
Right.
And the fact that they could take the training and the certification for free. It was fabulous because that costs a lot of money, right, if you want to get those.
Right.
And, when we went to visit the universities, the ones she'll be going to, and we were talking with the professors and the people there, and when she said how many certifications they had, you could see the eyebrows raise a little, and they said, wow, that's fantastic. So taking advantage of opportunity.
Great.
She's done
Yeah.
a great job.
Wow. So you're going to be presenting at DEF CON, right? And the father-daughter duo,
Yep.
right there on stage. Tell us a little bit about, the topic and what's the storyline this year.
So the interesting thing, right, we are at the Bug Bounty Village, and what I do is web application firewall, right? So we were the kind of opposite sides here, kind of battling each other. So, to briefly describe it, it's a scenario where if bug hunters find a problem in the bug bounty program, a vulnerability that our customers have, oftentimes we're brought in and our customers will share vulnerability data that they get from the bug bounty
Right.
hunter.
Right.
And then we go and help them to do perhaps custom mitigations, because oftentimes it's something very specific to their web application.
Right.
And so we can prevent exploitation while they can fix the code. And our customers actually find that very valuable because they can't often fix code very quickly.
Right.
There's prioritization issues and clock's ticking.
Right.
So we really help them with that. So what was interesting is when we look at this is, well, they were able to exploit a vulnerability. Why didn't we stop this? What is going on here, right?
Right,
So we have
right.
to do some introspection and some analysis. So it was interesting once we started to look at commonalities of what was happening. The term I was using when I was talking with Isabella about this is impedance mismatches. It's an issue that when the web requests come into the edge and we inspect it and look for things, look for malicious activity, we would analyze the data and say, nope, this is not something that's like exploitable code. It's not going to do something bad. We send it on. Somewhere after we look at it, the data is manipulated or changed, and it becomes malicious. So we said, oh, wait a second, how is this happening? So then we were researching the why and the how. So you can give a little overview on some of the stuff that we found.
So overall, we're focusing on how bug hunters can abuse these data manipulation processes to get around any sort of sanitization. Most cases, this would be like a WAF. And we focused mostly on UTF-8 decoders, ones that cannot handle Unicode characters and multi-byte, and just Unicode in general being a very complex topic has its quirks that can be abused and manipulated.
Yeah, the one final point, because we have an hour-and-a-half training session
With
in
hands-on
this
lessons,
workshop.
yeah.
So to really, the elevator pitch it there
Right.
is you can think Unicode is all the different languages around the world. They all have unique code points that are, individual.
Right.
On the receiving end, if an application only accepts US ASCII code, which is a much smaller set of characters, what do they do when they get something that's not in that character set? Do they find a lookalike confusable and just say, well, we're going to say it's this one?
Or do they truncate the data and only
Exactly.
take a lower byte?
Right.
So
Fit
that's-
it into
Yeah.
a smaller space.
Okay.
So that's just a quick summary
Right, right.
of
Very
a
interesting.
core issue that a lot of our customers run into because they have very complex architectures.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's a It's a very important, kind of like the way you explain the dimensions, right? Is that the customer is doing the bounty hunters to say, hey, go find me all this stuff, and
Yep.
we are providing that first layer of defense while they figure it out internal to the application, what they need to do. So fantastic.
Correct.
I want us to kind of go a little bit in just sort of, you know, great accomplishments, great achievements. Looking forward to the presentation here. But what's the, you know, there are so many people out there, so many young girls, young adults who are trying to figure out, what do I do? What should I study? What's my field of influence that I can really make a big impact in? What would be your sort of message, Izzy, to all of those people? Like, you know, something that inspired you would inspire them. And we want a lot more folks kind of entering the STEM field, right? Because there's so much to do over there, right?
I would say if you have any interest at all in any STEM field, specifically security in our case, go for it. Don't let anyone try to discourage you. Don't let your starting point discourage you from taking all of your resources, using them, seeking out resources. There's tons of online courses. There's STEM for Her, that was a great resource for me. Look for mentors, people who can help and encourage and support you. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Seek it out, try it, see if you're interested in it, and then pursue it.
Got it. And you feel like, you know, would your friends view you differently? That, hey, you're going into cybersecurity? Like, you know, what is that?
I have very supportive friends, so I don't think they would. If anything, I think it impresses people. It's very nice to say, oh, I'm going into cybersecurity engineering.
Right.
I think that, and I hope to encourage other girls and have it be, oh, hey, I know this other person, she's going into cybersecurity, maybe that's something I want to pursue, or maybe that could inspire them to pursue another field that seems perhaps restrictive or more male-dominated.
Right. Interesting. Male-dominated. It's
Yeah.
all going to change. It's
Yeah.
all going to change with you and so many other people. So, you know, as a father of 2 daughters myself, I feel, you know, the importance of the higher education, having the clarity of the vision, the direction, very important. And parents play a role, you know, your teachers, your advisors, like so many people played very important role. So is there one thing about your parents that you felt that helped you shape this thing for you?
Definitely my dad in particular, his enthusiasm in sharing what he does in his work and taking me to DEF CON especially, that was eye-opening for me. But then the time that we get to spend together, specifically on the weekends, we have our Sour Patch time, because we make it fun with some hacker music, and my favorite candy is Sour Patch. So we've got our CTF name, Team Sour Patch.
Team Sour Patch.
But then
Right.
on the weekends we would do CTFs together, or he would buy books and teach me some Python. But it was great father-daughter bonding time, but also really educational. I learned a lot, and it opened my eyes so that I could even apply what I was learning at home then to even my school. I was working on a research project, and we had to perform mathematical analysis on a topic of our choice. And I said, cybersecurity, obviously, that's definitely what I want to do. And we had a Linode server, which was tracking SSH login attempts. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I could analyze these brute force attempts, see, like, geographically, where are they coming from? What is the volume of these attacks? Could that perhaps reflect what is happening? Is it normal brute force, or is it some sort of rainbow table that they're using, or what's sort of happening here? And it was also very amusing to see all the usernames that were attempted, some of them pretty random, but my dad made it fun and educational at the same time, so he's really helped me, and my mom as well has really supported me, helping me to study for all my certifications, supporting me going to STEM for Her events, and really supporting me through my entire education and anything I'm interested in. So thank you, Dad.
Great,
Thank you,
great, yeah. And Ryan, what's your message for all the other parents, right, in terms of who might or might not have the same resources that you had, you know, your background, your, you know, ability to where you live, the school systems, etc., right? but what would you say to just, all the parents?
Well, echoing what Izzy was saying, fortunately there is a lot of free resources out there that you can search for, for free.
Mhm.
We leveraged a bunch of those as well to do web security, like training and bug hunting for her, which is fantastic. But for me, the main thing I was trying to do early on was to make it fun, right? And it had to be fun, which is why we did music and food and all this other fun stuff as we were doing it for bonding time. But then the other thing is the way I learned a lot is practical application. It's sometimes hard doing something new where it's abstract. So a lot of times we would reverse that and say, well, here's a particular problem, and then we go research it and we learn, and it's applied learning. And that helped me. And also with her, a lot of times it was interesting when she was doing that analysis on the Linode data and all that, and she's telling me what she's finding. I'm saying, we see very similar things in our Akamai data, right? With
Right.
DDoS and botnets and why
Right.
they're trying to break into IoTs. And
Right.
she was finding it on her own,
Got
but
it.
then I could bring that real world of saying, look, now here's the broader picture.
Right.
So it depends on the kid, how they
Right.
learn. But we found that applied learning,
Right.
find a problem and then go research how to fix it is very
So
helpful.
very helpful. Great,
Yeah.
great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic advice. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate both of you joining us today, and fantastic accomplishments. Congratulations.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to bigger and better things, and a lot of good advice from the heart from both of you to our listeners, viewers. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.